This is the thing where I answer your questions, but I do it on camera and not with my keyboard. Hey, it's Jason Boyett again, and like yesterday, I'm here to answer some reader questions in video format, so let's get right to it. Okay, my internet friend Lauren asks, what books do you like to read? And this excludes, she notes, the books you've written. What books have you read lately? I like to read all kinds of books, pretty eclectic in my reading. I do really read a lot of fiction when I'm not researching for a book that I'm writing, which is pretty much the only time I can read for pleasure. I like to read crime fiction. I like to read good escapist kind of stuff. I'll admit to reading some pulpy stuff. I also like to read nonfiction in the sort of John McPhee vein with historical stuff and places. And recently read The Lost City of Z by David Grann, a writer for The New Yorker, which is a very good book. I recommend that. Right now I'm reading Summerland by Michael Chabon, which is sort of a kid's book, but lots of fun anyway. I mentioned on my blog that I read the Twilight series earlier this year, and I read a lot of books for endorsement. If author friends have asked me to read their book, I usually do. So I just finished Christianish by Mark Steele, which is very good. I recommend that. And also The End Is Now by Rob Stinnett, which is a satirical rapture novel. I think you folks will enjoy that. So go buy that. It just released like this week. So that's the kind of stuff I read. Good question, Lauren. Nate Reimer asks, are you going to do any book signing tours? The unfortunate answer to that is pretty much no, at least not the traveling type. I'll probably do some book signings here in Amarillo, but the economic situation now is that a lot of publishers just can't justify the costs that go into book tours, into the travel and hotels and airfare and all that kind of stuff. You don't sell enough books as a result to justify what you paid for it unless you're some big time author, Stephen King type, or Malcolm Gladwell, something like that. So no tours, though I will do some local stuff. Nate also asks, how do you explain the existence or non-existence of ghosts to a smart 7-year-old who believes in God and Jesus as equally invisible beings? I have no idea. There are ghosts mentioned in the Bible. 1 Samuel 28 has Saul going to visit sort of a medium who helps him bring this like dead spirit out of the ground. So it is biblical, the idea of ghosts, but man, Nate, I don't have any idea. How am I supposed to answer that? I'm going to move on. Jen asks, what's your favorite breakfast cereal? She likes random food questions. Right now I'm eating a lot of Kashi's Go Lean because it's crunchy and it has some protein and it's sort of healthy, and I like that. It stays crunchy in milk too, which is a big deal. Eat a lot of bite-sized shredded wheat, although we don't get the actual like brand shredded wheat. We get what's called frosted mini spooners. I think Maltameal makes it just as good, about half the price. It's good stuff, especially when it gets all soggy in your milk. I like bite-sized shredded wheat. What's next? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? I'm not going to answer that. Come on, Destiny. Jamie says, if you weren't a writer of books and weren't using this blog to promote them, would you still write a blog? And if so, what would you blog about? Ooh, that's a good one. I'll be honest, I was aware of blogging for a long time. In fact, I once thought about writing a novel right after kind of blogs came out there, and thought about writing a novel with blogging as a plot point. This was like 2002 or something like that. So I was aware of it, but never did it just because it was another responsibility, I thought, to add to my plate. So I was hesitant. I only got into it, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, as a means to promote my books. I'll be honest about that. But I think it's something that comes fairly easy to me, that type of writing, the conversational, bloggy type. So I want to say that if I wasn't out promoting my books and trying to develop the Jason Boyett brand, like those air quotes, that I would still be blogging. I might be just now getting to it, but I think I would, just because I enjoy the medium. I enjoy the interaction. It's good to have a place to write about whatever I want to write about. Let's see, a couple of questions. What is your favorite kind of donut? Anthony asks. I like chocolate ones, chocolate glazed ones. I also like blueberry cake donuts. That's a good question. And Amarillo has a great donut place, better than Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' Donuts or anything that I've found, retail-wise, chain-wise across the U.S. There's a little plug for you. It's called Donut Stop. Okay, that's all for today. Talk to you next time. Bye.